Hello, dear friends. Hello, dear friends. My name is Eve, and I love poetry and storytelling. Love it, love it, love it. One of my favorite topics ever is goddesses. I love goddesses. I love goddesses, and today I have a story for you. I'm gonna tell it as fast as possible so as to not go on some tangents like I usually do. Today's story is called The Cursed Apple. How a goddess beauty contest caused a war. My name is Eve Sanchez. I am Cuban and I write both in Spanish and in English. I am currently writing a book. It is a romantasy book. It is called Siren Chants, about a siren and her enchanting chants. Anyways, today's story comes straight from ancient times. Today, not surprised at all, we will be talking about the first poem that we have that was ever written, supposedly. I don't know, you could debate this, but either way, we're talking about the Iliad by Homer. Boring. No. We are gonna expose the bottom line of what happened that caused the war, and how the goddesses are actually involved, how the goddesses actually caused the war and the destruction of Troy. And I think it was like 9 years of war. But let's leave the dumb, boring stuff behind and move on with our storytelling. The Cursed Apple. How a goddess beauty contest caused war. It all started with an apple. It was not just any apple. It was in fact a golden apple. And this apple had an inscription on it. It said, "To the most beautiful." Well, hello. Well, to the most beautiful, said the golden apple. And this golden apple, it was rolled down the middle of this wedding party at Olympus. The gods were partying. There was a wedding, and at the party were all of them, when suddenly the goddess of discord shows up with this golden apple, and the apple says, "To the most beautiful." As the apple rolls, the beautiful goddesses come forth, and they decide, "I want the apple." Who is they? Aphrodite, goddess of love, she wants the apple. She's most beautiful. Athene, favorite goddess or favorite daughter of Zeus, goddess of wisdom, the virgin goddess, she wants the apple. Does she deserve it? And then in comes Hera, queen of Olympus, queen of all gods. Even Zeus listens to Hera. So, is she the most beautiful? Does she deserve the apple? This apple, this golden apple, was cursed, you see, by the goddess of discord. And as it's rolled, these three goddesses, Aphrodite, Athene, and Hera, queen of the gods, all want the apple. They are all beautiful. Can you imagine a goddess's beauty? Picture the most beautiful woman you have ever seen. make her more beautiful, and then make her more beautiful. Well, the goddesses show up to Zeus, the king of the gods, and say, who will have this apple? 1 apple, 3 goddesses. I want it. And Zeus, you know what? No. No. I am much too important. I am not going to say who's the most beautiful goddess. This is... I am not gonna do this. Am I gonna choose my daughters over my wife? My wife will kill me? No. I will not be the judge of this beauty contest, says Zeus. So then the goddesses, they just went off to find the human man who could be the judge. And well, those who know how the story goes, who is the human man who causes the war in Troy, in ancient Troy, according to Homer? Was it Paris of Troy? So the goddesses fly off from Mount Olympus, and then they find the young Prince Paris. Paris, Prince of Troy, he's also cursed, that poor boy. Paris was a young man or a big boy. I'm assuming a teenager, and he was the most handsome young man in the world. However, what was his curse? When he was a kid, just a boy, an oracle has said that single-handedly he, Paris the prince, would cause the destruction of his beloved kingdom of Troy. So of course his parents just got rid of him, sent him off. Go somewhere else, Paris. How are you gonna just destroy us? Well, this business of prophecies in ancient times was a big deal. So of course everybody listened to the prophecy, and Paris, off he went to a mountain. He was a shepherd, not a prince anymore, and he was just over there hidden away because maybe he could hide away from a curse. You cannot hide away from a curse, Paris. So here comes his fate. The 3 goddesses show up. The Iliad says, in all their loveliness. They made themselves probably as lovely as they could. But not only that, they were already at a party, so I'm sure if they were like us, they were already beautiful and dressed up for a party. Well, the 3 goddesses show up to Paris, who's just hanging out with the sheep, and they're as lovely as they can be. 3 all at once. Oh, goddesses! Paris was dazed and amazed, and also, of course, he was terrified. Poor Paris, he knew these are not normal beings. These are goddesses. This is his fate. This is his destiny. This is his curse. So Paris does not want to have anything to do with this goddess contest, but he's not strong enough, like Zeus, to tell them to go away. They insist that he chooses one to keep the golden apple of discord, the cursed apple, to the most beautiful. Well, Paris doesn't want to do it, however, in comes Athene. And Athene, she is the goddess of the war and also of wisdom. And Athene says to him, choose me, and you will win in every battle you participate in, and you will be a famous warrior. And then Hera comes in, the queen of the gods. And Hera is power personified. She's not a person, but she's just the most powerful that there is. Queen of the gods. So Hera says, you will have all of the power that I can give you. You will be powerful beyond anything that you can ever obtain on your own. Very beautiful, Hera. And in comes Aphrodite, goddess of beauty, goddess of love. Aphrodite, she lowered her voice and she smiled. And she said, I will give you the most beautiful woman in the world as wife if you only choose me. And Paris said, I am weak. Aphrodite, how could you do this to me? You know what this means? No, I can't do this. The most beautiful woman, power, war, women, power, war. Oh, how could you do this to me, Aphrodite? You know the most beautiful woman is married. Yes, she knew that. She knew that. And he knew that, but he was weak. Paris, he was weak as prophesied. And so he handed the apple to the most beautiful Aphrodite. She's the one who enchants mortal man. And God's like, anyway. So off went Paris, off to Sparta to steal the wife of the king. Most beautiful woman alive, Helen of Sparta. Aphrodite helped him and she gave him some super attraction, even though he was already attractive and the most handsome man in the world, but he was a boy. And so in the middle of the night, Paris escaped from Sparta with the queen. Obviously her husband Menelaus, I think is his name, king of Sparta, he's I'm gonna kill Paris and all Troy. I'm gonna destroy Troy and rescue my wife. And off went Menelaus, his brother Agamemnon, king of all the Greeks, and all the other Greeks, such as Odysseus, the one that we know of from the Odyssey. And of course, this included the superhero Achilles, who would die outside of Troy at the hands of Hector, the top #1 hero of Troy. Hector is actually the best character in the story. Sadly, he dies a horrible death at the hands of Achilles, and then his wife and his child are carried off as slaves. I think that everybody knows the end of the story. The Trojan War happens and the gods definitely get involved, helping both Troy and Greece. And I believe the war goes on for 9 years until Odysseus designed the so famous, super duper famous wooden horse of legend. And the horse, of course, the story of the horse is that the horse was left outside of Troy as if the Greeks had left. And the Troyes had a party. They thought it was an offering of peace. And then they brought the wooden horse inside their walls because their walls were actually impenetrable. So once they brought the wooden horse inside and they had party and they went to sleep all drunk, of course the Greeks were inside the wooden horse, and then they came out and then they killed all of the men and carried all of the women and children as slaves. Thus, Troy was destroyed. And that is the end of that sad story of how a goddess beauty contest and the apple of discord brought about the destruction of Troy, one of the most fabulous cities from mythology. I am Eve, love star, and I love the goddesses. I search mythology and history in search of the goddess. I like to write mythological pieces as well as inspirational goddess poetry, devotional pieces, and everything in between, because the goddesses, they inspire me. Let us be friends if you're a fan of the goddesses, and we will talk soon. This was Eve. Much love. Thank you for being here, all of you. I'm sorry I did not say hi. It's just that I had to keep the story going because otherwise I will forget parts of it. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.